have spent the last day or so trying to do something similar to the dimensional embossing folders that you can buy to put through your embossing machine. Now I have a Gemini machine, and so what I have to do is alter pressure via different sandwiches. All those of you who've got things like big shots and what have you will be perfectly aware of those. But I wanted to try and get some extra texture into an embossed piece so that all the embossing wasn't on one layer, if you understand what I mean. Some stands out a little more than others. And this is what I came up with, which is actually not bad at all. You look at it in one direction, you see one pattern. You look at it in another direction, you see a different pattern. And this was actually very simple to do. But what I will do is tell you what I tried first of all that didn't work. I tried to make a folder which literally folded in half. I made the folder easily enough, but it's a pain in the neck to do it. It worked on one level, but I don't think it was going to work with more than one layer, if you see what I mean. That would be far too complicated. So I thought, well, normally you can emboss with stencils, and what happens? So this was actually embossed with 2 cardboard stencils. You see the one with the lines, which you can hopefully see here. So this was one stencil, and then this kind of Moroccan pattern was another stencil. I just laid one stencil over the other, and it came out really well, and I was really pleased. Now the trouble is with paper stencils or card stencils, they're not going to last very long. So I wanted to see if I could do this with plastic stencils. And because the cheapest thing for me to get for making plastic stencils is the binder covers that I got, I have 2 thicknesses. I have one which is very thick, and it's this type of stuff. It's frosted. I really like it for single stencils. It's really, really good. And I have another type which is this thinner one. Again, very good for stencils. The only trouble is you can't see it when you put it down on the desk. They get lost a bit. But they are very good for stencils, and both will last a long time. So I thought, that's what I really want to use, and not card. But I thought, how do you design a stencil that's going to have 2 different, well, not 2 different patterns necessarily, but 2 different layers? And the answer is you design it in 2 layers. Let me show you. I have here 2 stencils. They're cut the same size. But what I did when I designed them is I designed one lot with one set of patterns and the other with a different type of pattern. So this one has got these little concave squares, and this one has got normal sort of rounded squares. And I made them exactly the same size, and I put a identifying mark in one corner. This is so I know which way round I design them. So if I can, actually what I'll do, I'll just turn my mat over. There we go, a bit easier to see. Right, so I design them, so this is one pattern and this is the other pattern. Cut them both at the same time, but then you stack one on top of the other. But what you do when you're designing these is you make sure that your pieces don't go one inside the other. So you want to make it so that your designs are offset. So in total you have something completely different, but you could use them individually if you want to. But when put together, they can go through the embossing machine and you get that sort of double layer look. this one shows it up reasonably well. These, because this was the one which was, I think, face down on the card, first of all, gets a deeper emboss than the one which is behind it. So that gives you the two different depths of the pattern, and I really like the way that's come out. So this was done with these thin ones, and what I did was I put my cutting plate on, I put my plastic plate on, I put my silicone mat, and then I put the top cutting plate on, passed it through. It did a great job. That is, to me, that's perfect. That is exactly what I wanted, and a really good emboss. It's nice and clear. I'm happy with the result. What I wanted to know was if I could do it with the thicker ones. And I found, unfortunately, that with the same sandwich, these thicker ones, no, it's too thick. And it didn't work very well because it almost tore the card with the pressure. I mean, you wouldn't believe one little layer like that can make that much difference, but it almost tore the card with that much pressure. So I played around with every conceivable layer I could think of, and I still really couldn't get it to work. So when I want a double layer stencil, I'll be using the thinner stuff. This is on a yellow card, and in this particular case I put the squares behind these sharper ones, and so those are softer and those are firmer, but you can get different results. You can see, probably see the difference between those two there, at least I hope you can. So it depends which one you put down first. The one that you put down first is the one which is going to be stronger, and you put the weaker one behind. Okay, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave your comments down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And please note, I now have my own Facebook group, createinspain, so you can always find me on there. Thanks for watching. Take care now. Bye bye.